All right, Steve. Man, I really look forward to it. I'll see you soon. Steve Alaimo. That's a name in the music scene in Miami from the 60s, 70s. You know, this was back in the day when Dick Clark had his caravan of stars, and he came to Miami looking for the right band, and he picked the Redcoats with Steve Alaimo. And that's the beginning. He became a co-producer with Dick Clark for Where the Action Is. He was starring in that show. He had like 6 top 100 on the Billboard charts. My kind of music. You know, rock and roll, doo-wop, he knows it all. Biggest song I think he had was Every Day I've Gotta Cry. Great song. Nice man. He's gonna come talk cars and music with me. Maybe I'll sell him something. He's a bit of a car buff. Steve Alaimo was a single artist, but he also had a band called the Redcoats. He was one of the local stars down here, and then he became a worldwide star.
I had some local hits in Florida. A song called Happy, a song called Big Bad Beulah, but I had a hit called Every Day I Have to Cry Some. It became a national hit. I've known Ted about 30 years. Ted sold me 2 or 3 cars. In fact, I assisted him in his first vocal endeavors. He sells cars, fixes cars, buys cars. A boxer maybe, wrestler maybe, comedian really maybe, can't sing.
I had 3 or 4 bands, and I was so popular that when I retired, nobody noticed. Do you know the song No Money Down by Chuck Berry?
Yeah, sure. Chuck
Do you really?
Yeah. Recorded for Chess Records.
Yeah.
That was my label with Every Day I Have to Cry Some.
Yeah.
That was on Chess.
Really?
I used to see him in the office. I freaked out over him too. He's brilliant.
Steve Alaimo's been in Miami since the late 50s. He knows all about rock and roll. He's played with guys like Chuck Berry, Jerry Lee Lewis, Roy Orbison. He's got stories he can tell.
I'm looking forward to going around with Ted and him show me some of these cars. I own some of these cars. Not these particular cars, but the vintage. I had a Mustang, I had a Maserati Bora, 2 or 3 Thunderbirds, I had a Wrangler. I still have the Wrangler. It's 30 years old and I happened to buy it from Ted. I won in the deal. He always took care of me.
I've been walking a lot with Steve Alaimo, one of my idols. He was, a big star in the 60s and knows music, been in the music business for years. And I've been talking cars and music with him. It's been fantastic. There you go, Steve.
Oh, GTO. I hate to say I was around when these came out.
What song does that car remind you of?
Riding the Daytonas.
Little GTO.
Little GTO. Wow.
Whoa, 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 whoa,
Yeah, that's enough. I love to see all these cars because I grew up with a lot of them. When I started driving cars, I had no idea I would live long enough to see all of them sit on lots. Mustang Sally. Wow.
The wicked Mr. Wilson Pickett.
Wilson Pickett was
he
terrific. But the car wasn't bad either. I had one of these Mustangs. Cars have changed through the years. Some things are exactly the same. There are improvements, obviously, but the style, they're so different. I think that's why there's a market for old cars and classic cars. It's because they have individuality.
How about the 58 Bel Air?
With the
Continental
with
kit.
Continental kit.
I'm talking, this is the 50s right here.
It's
I
definitely.
love this. Music and cars define time, define generations. Groups of us grew up with certain music, and you equate that with the cars you drove. Steve Alaimo's been a buddy of mine for some 30-odd years. We were reminiscing about cars and music and what cars go with which songs, and he's an encyclopedia of rock and roll.
Oh, this is a Little Deuce Coupe here.
There you go. Who sang that?
Little Deuce Coupe, I think, was Beach Boys, right?
Correct.
Oh, look at that. Coupe de Ville.
As I was motivating over the hill,
That's
I saw a
right.
Maybelline and a Coupe de Ville. There it is.
Wow.
Chuck Berry, the man.
What a classic this is. Beach Boys and Chuck Berry probably have the record for songs about cars. It's funny how some artists always drew themselves to cars. Like the Beach Boys, Chuck Berry was big with it.
And groups that name themselves after cars.
All right.
The Falcons, So Fine.
Yeah.
Impalas, Sorry I Ran All the Way Home.
Impala's an animal.
Will you cut it out?
It was great to see Ted and great to see all these cars. These cars are great.
Seeing Steve Alaimo is the best. It's great. Makes a nice day. He's just such a quality human being. I love the guy.